Hi, and welcome to yet another B1UP tips and tricks session. Today we'll look at how to work with the Process Flow Dashboard Widget. So let's jump into business one. And out of the box, the Process Flow Widget is not shown in here. You might also, if you have run the Fury Cockpit, know it as the workbench, and there can be different workbenches. And it's essentially a more advanced version of common functions. If you want them, you of course need to make room for them somehow, and they take up quite a bit of space. So in my case, I would actually say, okay, I will drop the common functions because it can essentially do exactly the same as what that can do, and instead have the process flow. Of course, if you wanted to, you could put it on another view instead entirely. But I've made some room, and it will make sure that it takes up the room it needs. So under other widgets down here, we have the process flow. So we have it here, and let's put it like this, and let's quickly adjust so we have some room for the rest of the widgets, because it will roughly take up this space. And when you put it in, you can see there is no specific flow it have chosen for you, but you have 5 flows you can do out of the box. And in this case, it's the sales overview, so let's have the sales process here as well. We can actually make this a bit smaller so we can have the screen, but it all depends on resolution, of course. So we have it like this, and it is essentially another way of showing the common function. So we can go to sales quotation from here, we can go to sales order, and so on. But it is in the flow of how you would actually do things in the system with the entire flow. There will also be these small ones with extra options, so you can actually go directly to other things directly from the system. So it takes up a bit more space, but actually gives more menu structure, so you can get rid of the main menu over here. So that was the sales flow. Let's have a look at the other flows that are here. We also have a purchase flow, just in reverse with outgoing payments and AP invoices and so on instead. We have the financial process flow, where we talk about journal entries and reconciliation, charts of account. So again, we can go directly from here. It's a very nice way of getting rid of running with an old style menu. And remember, if you get rid of the menu, you can always get certain things in here. Let's have a look. We also have the inventory managed flow, where warehouse and goods received and returns and so on are the main focus of the list here. And the final one we have is for the B1UP nerds, where we actually have a B1UP flow of power user things. So I actually always run with this on, so I can easily get to the universal function. And again, remember, dashboards are personal, so it's not like you will expose this to everyone just because you have it on your dashboard. But in this case, as we mentioned, this should be the sales flow. And now we can essentially do exactly the same as SAP, but we can do it a bit further as well, because I won't go into very much details, but these can actually be edited. In SAP, they're just fixed, and you can't change anything about them. But here we can actually do that. So if you want to return request, as an example, we could go in here, and like common functions, we could go in and say sales, return request, give it an icon. Could make sense for return requests. This perhaps, and say the return request will lead into return, and technically the delivery will perhaps either become a return or return request. So we have made a small change. You can see you have a lot of room for you to add more to your flows. But if I do this, we now have a customized flow with even more features. You can actually make a flow that will take up the entire screen if need be. So that's the process flows. Very nice visually, takes up a bit more room, so that's cost drawbacks and advantages, of course. But you decide as always. Thank you for attending.